Okay, graphing calculator lesson. So graphing calculator, big part of the course. Today's our first lesson, so let's go. So hopefully your calculator looks something like this. I'm primarily going to use this one on the left here, but I will show you the one on the right at some point. Also, if you guys have any kind of 84, um, and you can update your 84s. Ask me about it. If you bought it, then you should have a link on it, like a USB. There's a way you can update it online. So that's something that you might want to do. I can do that in person, but obviously half you guys aren't in person. So let's get rolling. Here's the first thing we're going to do. Okay. Let's just say f of x equals x squared minus 5x plus 6. All right, we want to find f of 7. All right, why don't you just do that right now, real quick, some mental math. Pause the video, go. All right, hopefully we got, you got 7 squared minus 5 times 7 plus 6, and we end up with 49 minus 35 plus 6. What's that, 14? I get 20. All right, just a little refresher. If you remember this from Algebra 2, it's good to do sometimes. Oh, that synthetic substitution. It's fast, and we got to do it. Helps you out. Answer. We know the answer is 20. All right, great. So let's tie this into the calculator. How do we get our calculator to do this? All right, first thing, you turn your calculator on. There's the on button, and we hit the y equals button. All right, we're gonna store. We can store there's at least 7. I think you can store like 9 functions. So we're gonna type in x squared. There's a squared button. A lot of you are going to have to keep rewinding on this video, which is fine. That's why I just chose to do this as a video form. All right, I'm not going to graph anything. I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going to type the equivalent of f of 7. Okay? So your calculator stores things as y1, y2, y3, y4, not f, g, h, and so on. So we want to type y1 of 7. So I'm going to show you a button. Hit the vars button. It's essentially variables. You scroll over, y variables, function. There's y1. Now hit parentheses, hit 7. There you go. Okay, pretty useful. All right, let's find right now. All right, let's do f of 0. I'll give you some easy ones because we know it should be 6. All right, another way to find this one. If you hit the alpha button, alpha, trace. Oh, there's all your y's. Reason why I'm showing you both, not every calculator has this. Like on an old Al calculator, an 83, okay, you're going to have to hit vars, y variables, y1. Okay, I didn't store it, so nothing's going to come up here. But I'm going to hit y1 of 0, and we end up with 6. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to show you today, how to evaluate a function. All right, it's useful. We got to do it a lot. All right. Next. Keep the same thing here. Let's evaluate f prime of 5. Okay, let me store f into this equation too. X squared, what is it? Minus 5x plus 6. Okay, so I get into this one. Again, there's 2 different operating systems on these TIs, and again, if you have an 84, you should be able to update to the one on the left, but some of you might not have it. Like the alpha keys or something you might not have on the one on the right. All right, f prime to 5. Well, first we do f prime. F prime is 2x minus 5. You plug 5 in, the answer should be 5. Okay, how do you do that in a calculator? Hit math. Scroll down or just type in the number 8. You go down to the 8th one. It says n deriv. You hit enter. All right, now you get this here. We want d dx. We've seen that before. The derivative of what? y1. At what value? 5. This notation means f prime to 5. There you go. On this calculator, it's going to look different. So I'm going to hit math, 8. It says n deriv. All right, I got to type in y1, comma x, comma 5. These 2 mean the same thing. You don't have to know both. You got to know whichever one your calculator has on there. Okay? I know how to use both, so I could obviously help you. I'm helping you now. All right, let's find the derivative. Let's say we want to find f primed of 7. Okay? Another shortcut. say I don't feel like typing in when I don't feel like doing math 8 and all that stuff. If I hit second enter, it's going to call up the last thing that we typed. Now you scroll over, you just make that a 7. There you go. Done. So you get 9. Okay, so you wanted F prime to 10. Second enter. All right, now you just make that 10. Okay, these are quick things to do. All right, we're gonna see how much of this you picked up now. I'm gonna give you a function that's kind of complicated. All right, this would be made for a calculator. Let's say f of x equals x e to the x sine x. Okay, all kinds of stuff here. It'd be like product rule twice, or because you get 3 products here. All right, first, I just want to know what f of 1 is. And then second, I want to know f prime of 1. Okay, I'm going to pause it, and let's go. You should pause the video. Okay, we're back here. So I got to type this stuff in. So here's x. Here's e to the x. Hopefully you found it. It's right behind ln. Okay, get out of the exponent. Sine x. Okay. I'm going to show you how it looks in this one. It's going to be similar, but you can see it looks a little different. I got to close the parentheses here. All right. And then we hit sine x. So the operating system on the left, it shows you the exponents. This one doesn't. You need parentheses. All right, we're not graphing anything. Let's just get out of here. All right. Huge point. Mode must be in radians. If you're in degrees, you're going to get every problem wrong in the AP Calc test. There will never be a problem in degrees unless it specifically tells you to use degrees, which I've nearly never seen. Everything is radians in calculus. All right, so now I want f of 1. Okay, on my. Now, if we were showing our work, you would write f of 1. Don't actually write down what we're doing on the calculator. The calculator, that's going to be y1 of 1. Or maybe you had it as y2, whatever you stored it in as. Remember, for me, it was y1. Okay, I'm hitting second mode. That's a quit button. That's what gets me back to this screen. I haven't talked about that yet. Okay, y1 of 1 equals. There we go. Something else for the calculator. You always put 3 decimal places. Always. Anytime we're using a graphing calculator in class. So I'm going to write 287. The rule is either round the 3rd digit or truncate after 3. Truncate means just stop. I usually truncate, less thinking. I don't have to worry about rounding. Okay, so that's the rule here. Okay, again, you can use the shortcut. We can hit alpha trace y1 of 1. There we go. Now the derivative. I'm going to go math 8. This is x. This is, I screwed it up. To go back, you hit second quit. Okay, I want y1 in here, so I'm going to hit alpha trace y1. It's the derivative of y1. That's f prime. What's x? 1. Okay, let's write our answer. So it's going to be 6.043. Great. Okay, on this calculator here. All right, it won't take that long. Getting the same thing here. Math 8 for your derivative and deriv, and it's going to be y1, comma 1. Oh, nope, comma x first. It's derivative. That's like our dx with respect to x. That becomes more relevant when we start seeing z's and p's and q's and different letters, and there we go. Okay? All right, done. First thing. Next one. Let's try one more. Okay? It'd be like our 3rd problem here. All right, f of x equals 1 over x minus 4. Find f prime of 7. Pause it, go. Okay, hopefully you figured some of this out. My guess is half of you will get this wrong. All right, I'm going to clear this. I'm going to type in. All right, this is wrong. I need you to understand why this is wrong. What I just wrote is 1 over x minus 4. That's not what I wanted. So there's 2 options here. Here's the first option, which you have to do in an old one. always put what you're dividing by, or anytime you have a fraction, put the numerator and the denominator in parentheses. My numerator is just 1, so I'm okay. But if there's multiple parts, like x minus 4, put that in parentheses. Now I'm good. On the newer operating system, a huge feature. Every time you have a fraction, hit alpha y equals. See this button, fraction menu, hit n over d. And now we're actually able to type this thing in as it looks. This is a gigantic advantage. It's hard with fractions on here. Everyone screws them up, including me. And I have been using these for a long time. One of the biggest advantages of the new operating system on the 84s is being able to type it in like this. All right, now I'm going to get out of here. Okay, now we're going to hit the derivative button. So I go math, 8, dx. You know what I'm going to show you? If I just hit second enter a couple times. I've already changed to y1, so it's going to be the updated look. So I don't have to keep typing this in over and over. And what do we want? 7. And there we go. Okay. Negative 0.111111123. So look, your calculator is occasionally off. The 235s actually shouldn't even be there. I'm going to hit second enter again on this one. And let's make that a 7. And same thing. But okay, your calculator is always a little bit off here because it doesn't really know how to do calculus. It has some formulas plugged in. Okay, at this time I'm going to show you. We should be able to convert this to a fraction. There's a button on here. It might not work for this one, so I'm just going to do something different with you. Okay, let's say we were dividing 11 by 99. And you get, this is what the actual answer was in the last one. Okay, again, you calculate something that's a little bit off when it's doing derivatives, but you'll always be accurate to 3 decimal places. Hit the math button. Convert to fraction. Yes. Enter. 1/9. There we go. It's useful. Sometimes we need that. Oh, we want to go back to decimals. Hit the math button. Go down. Convert to decimal. There we go. Goes back and forth. Okay. That would not have worked for the other one because the calculator was just a little off that rounding. All right. Next thing. I'm showing you a bunch of things. Let's do some actual graphing. So let's graph y equals 8 minus x squared. Okay. Let's get in here and graph this thing. So let's clear this and let's go 8 minus x squared. All right. Okay, hit graph. So here's the first thing. Anytime you graph for the first time of the day, don't even hit graph. What you actually want to do is hit zoom 6, which is a standard window. Okay, because the last time you were using your calculator, or maybe someone else was using it, like they might have been zoomed in or zoomed out. So it's a good way to start. Okay, it's just a standard window. Everyone should be able to replicate this on here. So again, if zoom 6 gives you the standard window, it's a good place to start all our graphs. All right, we're going to try to find the zeros here. Okay, like basically what we're doing is we're setting this equal to 0. Okay, you know, again, we're going to end up with square root 8 or 2 root 2. Root 2 is 1.4, so the answer should be like 2.8 and change. But we're gonna have a calculator do this for us. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit second, calculate. All right, and we're gonna go down to 0. Okay, second, calculate 0. All right, what your calculator's basically doing here, it's telling you, give me a left bound. What that means is, calculator needs to have a general idea of where the 0 is. So you're saying pick some value left of it. And it's going to put a little arrow like this, and it's going to be blinking. And then it says pick some value right of this, and it's going to do the same thing. And then it'll say, do you want me to guess and find the 0 in between those 2 arrows? And you're going to hit yes. Like there's actually 2 zeros here. So let's find the one on the right first. So I'm going to scroll over with my arrow key, and I hit enter. My left bound. See the arrow right there? Okay, now I'm going to scroll over again and the right bound, okay? See the 2 arrows? The 0 is going to be in between them. It says guess, hit enter. Yes, there you go, 2.8284. Okay, go ahead and try to find the other 0. Pause it. All right, I'm going to show you something else here. You can scroll over with the mouse, but sometimes, or the cursor, that takes forever. You can also type in the left bound. If I like, well, I know -5 is clearly to the left, I'll type in -5. I know 0 is clearly to the right. I'm just going to type in 0. So same thing. You can see the arrows. It says guess between -5 and 0. Want us to find the 0? Yes, I do. Hit enter and wait for it, and there it is. Okay, so finding zeros is something that we should be able to do in the calculator. It's going to be in your assignment today. I'm going to ask you to be able to find some of these zeros. All right, next. Okay, let's go with, all right, let's graph x squared plus 25. And I just want to see what the graph looks like. We should kind of know what this looks like, but let's pretend we don't. So we hit graph. Or actually, if you want to stop the graph, you hit second quit. And let's get back in here and let's hit zoom 6 like I showed you earlier. Okay, this is a standard window. And where the heck's the graph? All right, well, look, sometimes the graph's not here. You got to find it. So this one's kind of an easy one because you got y equals x squared plus 25. So you might want to manually set the window here. So I'm going to go to window. And I should know, hey, this is a parabola shifted up 25. So I'm going to change my y min. Instead of going from -10, how about let's go from like, I don't know, 10. And the y max maybe like 40. And now I hit graph, and now it's going to show this. So sometimes it's easy enough for you to just change the window on your own. All right? That's it. Okay, next thing I want to show you. We call the another zoom feature. There's two kind of ways you zoom. One, you just do the window on your own. Let's do another one like that. All right, so we're going to type in x squared minus 22x. All right, here's something. The minus sign and the negative sign are actually different. So let's pretend I'm typing in right now x squared minus 22x. What do I want this to be? Plus 132. Okay. And I'm going to type it in like this, 22x. And then I go plus 132 and I hit graph. And this is actually wrong. Well, first off, wait a minute. What does this look like? Zoom 6 so we can get a normal view. But I'm going to show you, I actually typed this in wrong. Okay. My calculator interpreted what I just typed as x squared times -22x plus 32. Okay, it thinks this minus sign as a coefficient. It does not think it's a subtraction sign. So if you want subtraction, you need to put in this minus sign. Kind of annoying. It's not the way like the Desmos works or the way that we work, but on your calculator, there is a difference between a minus sign and a negative sign. Okay, so in this case, we want the minus sign for subtraction. Now we hit graph. Again, we'll hit zoom 6 here. Okay, so that gives us that standard window. And again, this isn't here. All right. This one might not be as easy for you to find, so I'm going to show you something else. All right. If I hit second graph, this gives me a table. Okay. And it just gives me a table of values. And it gives me a little feel for what the y values are here. We can kind of scroll up and down and we can kind of see, all right, they're getting kind of big. And I don't know, maybe I want now they're getting small. Now they're getting big again. This gives me a little bit of feel for what the y values are. So maybe now I get into my window and I make my y max like, I don't know, 250. Maybe now I can see the graph. Well, I get the left part. So now I want to get the right part. So I change my y max. Let's go like 20 on the y max. And I'm manually changing that so that I can see the graph on here. Okay, I'm changing the window. All right, so that's one feature with the table. There's some more cool things with the table that I'll show you later. All right, we're going to get out of here. All right, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to find the zeros. Y equals x sine x minus 1. And we're going to go from -1 to 5. Okay, I want you to follow along here. All right, follow along with me. So let's type this guy in. Let's clear this. Hit the clear button. Let's go x sine x minus 1. Okay, again, not the negative sign. Okay, when would you use the negative sign? If it was like -x squared, you need the negative sign. All right, and let's go zoom 6 here. Okay. I'm going to show you two things. So first, we only want the interval from -1 to 5. So there's a couple ways you can handle this. We could just set the window from -1 to 5. There's also something else I want to show you. One of the best Zoom features is the Z-Box. It's the very first thing when you hit Zoom. So if you hit Zoom, Z-Box, here's what this does for us. There's a blinking cursor there. If I move it up a little bit and over, you can see it's a crosshair. Okay? I'm going to get kind of near -1, and I'm going to hit Enter. And now I'm going to pull this down. And I'm going to pull it right. And you're going to start to see that it's actually making a box. Okay? I'm just going to zoom. And now if I hit Enter, it's going to zoom into just this portion of the box. It's a huge zoom feature. It's nice. It's very, very common to do. It's when you just want to zoom in. But the zoom in feature stinks on this. Z-Box is the best one we have. So that's kind of right around -1 and 5. So I'm going to hit Enter here, and it's going to blow the graph up. So now we can see pretty clearly. All right. There's 3 zeros here. Okay. You know, it honestly, 1 and 0 are actually zeros, but let's just get in here and find them all. So we need to practice. Let's find the zeros. Let's do them all at the same time. All right. I'm going to type this one in. I know there's a 0 between -1, so I'm just going to hit -1. And I don't know, about 0.5. So I'm just going to type 0.5 for my right bound, and I hit Enter. There we go, 0, 0. Why don't you guys find this 0 right here? Pause the video. Okay, now we're back. I'm going to do this one a different way. I'm just going to scroll. So left bound. I'm going to get kind of close to it, but I'm going to make sure I'm to the left of the 0. Now I hit Enter. Right bound. I'm going to keep scrolling over. All right, now I'm clearly right of it. See the arrows that are pointing right here? That's where the 0 is going to be. Now I hit Enter again. 1, 0. All right, go ahead and find this last 0. Okay, I'm going to type this in. I know it's between 4, Enter, and I'll just move this over a little bit. Okay, guess. Okay, there's the 0 right there. I got 4.14 again. I could write this as 4.141, or I could write 4.142. Truncate or round, one or the other. I usually just truncate. You can just stop it after 3 digits. To me, that's a little bit easier. All right. I kind of want, man, I was wishing something happened on this one. I'm going to try on this problem real quick here. And let's go sine x minus 1. Okay, and I'm going to calculate the zeros. I can type that in before the graph even happens. There's my nice little graph. Left bound, let's go 4. Right bound, 6. Guess, yeah, make sure we hit Enter. All right, damn it. All right, here's the thing. This will happen to you sometimes when you're finding a 0. It happened on my fancy calculator, like the color one. I did the same problem earlier today, and where are we? All right, here's the thing. I found the same problem earlier. It told me instead of saying 4.141, 0, my calculator told me 4.141, 2.185 e -12. This is kind of big. You're going to see this at some point. This is scientific notation. It means 2.185 times 10 to the -12, which means move the decimal place 10 spaces to the left. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be 11 zeros in front of this. When you see this, never write this number down. This means 0. This is 0. Okay, we saw it earlier when we had like one. The answer should have been 0.111111111. Instead, it was like 0.1111325. Your calculator is subtly off. It'll always be off by a little bit. You see this E negative something? Don't matter what that number is. This means 0. So that's going to come up from time to time. All right, we're near the end. So here's the last thing. We're going to do a function analysis problem with a calculator. Find the absolute, min, and max. Here's what we're doing. I'll call it F. Okay. Everything we do in the calculator, look, we're never going to just graph the function and find the min and the max. Your calculator actually will do that. But that's not how you justify it in the AP test, so it's just a waste of our time to do it that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph the derivative. We're going to explain what we're doing. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to say, hey, let's set f prime equal to 0. Okay. All right. How are we doing this? All right. You're going to get in here. And you're going to type in the function right here. Let's go x cubed. Cubed is math 4. It's a shortcut. Oh, no, it's not. It's math 3. Let's go x math 3. Or you hit x caret 3. Whatever you prefer. All right. Minus 5x, not negative. Okay. It's going to be minus 5x. All right. We're not graphing this. We want to graph the derivative. Okay, earlier I had you find like f prime to 5. Now we actually want to graph f prime of x. So the notation here is math 8. You want the derivative of y1, not at 5 or 7. You want f prime of x. So that's what you're typing in. I'll use the other notation here. Math 8, n deriv, y1, comma x, which is comma x. Okay, that's f prime of x. All right, a lot of stuff in here. I just turned that graph off. I don't want 2 graphs. I only want 1. I turned it off. All right, now let's hit graph, and let's see what our graph looks like. All right, I'm stopping my graph. Hit second off. Stops the graph. Sometimes you screw something up. I already know I did. Let's go to the standard window, zoom 6. I don't want the zoomed in area that I just had. Okay. All right. We got like 3 more minutes. This is pretty key here. So make sure you're following along. I'm going to find the zeros. Maybe you want to Z-box this. I don't know. We could. I don't think we need to, but what the heck? Let's do it. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay. And on this one, hey, I know like, hey, the interval is -2 to 5. So why don't I just type in -2 to 5? That probably makes more sense. So here we go. That's just the interval that we want here. Let's find the zeros. Left bound. I'm just going to scroll over. It seems to be taking a long time. Here's the left bound. Here. Guess. Let's do the left bound on this one. Second calculate 0. I'm just going to type it in. It's always faster. -2. I know it's that. I typed it in. It's between -2 and 0. Type it. It's faster. All right, this part's huge. Write this number down, but not yet. Get out of here. Hit second quit. What was that number? Hit X. Hit enter again. That number comes up. All right, and here's what we're going to write on our paper. We said set f prime equal to 0. All right, we're going to say let a equal -1.290994. Write them all. Don't round this yet. What does that mean? We're going to store this as alpha A. There's an alpha key. So we hit this button, STO, store, alpha A. Now, anytime I hit alpha A, this number comes up. It's going to stay there until later. Okay, there's my 0. Do it again over here. So what did I just do? Hit X. That number should look familiar. Store it, alpha A. Got it. All right, now let's find the other 0. This one's easy because it's fairly symmetrical. Okay, where's my left bound? How about 0? Where's my right bound? I don't know, 2? Somewhere between 0 and 2. I can see that. There we go. It's the opposite, but that's not always going to be like that. Now I'm going to get out of here. Second quit. Hit X. Store this one as alpha B. We can store 26 different things in here. Just don't, avoid X. Use A's, B's, C's, P's, Q. All right. Then I'm going to say let B equal 1.290999432. Here's how we're writing it. F prime of A equals 0 equals F prime of B. Okay. I'm using a lot of notation here, but here's what we just said in notation. I graphed it. I set the graph equal to 0. I found the zeros. And I'm showing that right here. All right. Now the rest of it's going to take 2 seconds here. I'm going to go up top here. I need a little bit more space. Okay. We're going to plug in F of alpha A. We're going to plug in F of alpha B. And we're going to plug in the endpoints. All right. On the calculator, watch how easy this is. Bars. Y1 of alpha A. Second, enter. Recalls what we just typed in. Now type in alpha B. Okay, hit second, enter. And we can type in -2. We got to write these down. So this would be 4.303. Now we round. It's a final answer. This is -4.303. Now you round. Okay, -2. Well, it's 2. That's real complicated. And then you're going to type in one more time. Second, enter. Come on. And we're going to type in, we can delete 3. And that ends up being 12. Answer the question. The max is 12. What's the min? -4.303. All right, a lot in there. Okay, obviously, if you've never turned the calculator on before, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. Use the video. Keep rewinding. Keep going back. Your homework is on this. It's pretty important that you come to class on Wednesday with a satisfactory understanding of all those things that we just did on here. If you need help, reach out to me during the ARC period, and I can give you some more help. But that is all for today. Thank you all.